Welcome! You're listening to Making Relationships Work. We're a company focused on women and their marriage. We lead and teach women just like you how to grow into and access, whenever you need to, your wise woman self, the part of you who is deeply connected to your purpose, your innate wisdom, and your husband and family. We teach women in marriages how to rebuild trust and connection, to work through conflicts, no matter how deep, no matter how painful, and to lead your marriage to a place where the two of you experience marriage mastery. This podcast is about learning the systems and techniques that truly work to reconnect you back into your marriage so that you can experience the freedom that comes with a masterful marriage. Since this podcast is totally free, if you're getting tons of value and you want to support us and make sure that you get more of this good stuff, subscribe below and rate and review our podcast today. Now, on to the show. Hello, Women Making Marriages Work. Hello, Making Relationships Work, our Facebook and YouTube channel. It is really lovely to be here with you tonight. And we are talking about how we look after ourselves, how we look after our family during this quarantine, this lockdown, this social distancing, whatever format your country or county or state's response is to the COVID-19. We're all in a disrupted time. And it is unprecedented for our generations to have walked through something like this. So the last type of this pandemic was 102 years ago, when the world was very different and we were relying on newspapers for information. And so we are writing history right now. We're literally writing the stories that our grandchildren will read about, or our great-grandchildren will talk about, like the Spanish flu, yeah? It's the same kind of thing. And what you might like to do when you're thinking about how do I lead my family and lead myself through this unprecedented time is to connect yourselves back with your ancestors and what they went through and how they lived and what that might allow you to draw from through your bloodlines, because you have ancestors who have survived really tricky things, really hard things, really painful things, and they have passed down still the DNA and the humanity and the love and the connection and the kindness so that you are here leading your family. And so at the very least, you can say, look, we are here, and look at what my lineage has overcome to be here. And this is something that I can do to allow my lineage to continue through. So sometimes looking to the past allows us to draw from the strength of character that our ancestors before had available to them, and therefore you have in you. Okay, so that's the looking back part. Why don't we talk about the looking forward part? What is it that you can create that is going to allow you to build on the legacy of your ancestors and allow you to give that whole gift to your marriage or to your family, your extended family, your community, your friends? Yes, let's talk about how do we thoughtfully create during this time of mass restrictions. So it can feel like a contraction where you've got 4 reasons to be out of the house: the doctors, or getting supplies, or going to work, or going to school if the schools are open, many of which are not. And so if you only have 4 reasons why you're kind of allowed out, then that can feel very constricting. If you live in a house that is small, or feels like you're all on top of each other, then it can feel very much like this. And notice when you feel constricted, you're moving into a kind of fetal position. And that fetal position is signaling to your body, oh my goodness, we're not safe. And there's a lot of messages in the media about not being safe right now. And our job is to tell your body and your family, your children, that we are safe. Yes. And so it's a very different experience of body. And that might be a lovely place for you to start to explore leadership from, which is, how do I use my body to show it that it's safe, but to engage in a life where I can access feelings of energy and personal power by walking and sitting up straight and holding my head high and stretching, so that as I'm moving through this house that does sometimes feel small, I can take up space. And that signals the brain in a couple of ways. One is it signals the safety brain to say, it's okay, I'm good, because we're literally telling our biochemistry, we are good. Up we get. Let's go. Let's lead. And not only are we doing that, we're also allowing ourselves to feel better by taking up space in our bodies. And that changes the way we move through the house. It changes the way we connect with our family. It changes the way we see our husbands. It changes the way that we start and move through our day. So it sounds very simple, but never underestimate the power of your physiology and your ability to change the way you feel based on how you show up in your body. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you're going to start to do is to intentionally make some time and space in your day for yourself. And you might like to do it so that you have some uninterrupted time twice a day, even for 10 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes twice a day that's just yours is going to be a lifesaver. What you do with that 20 minutes is up to you. But I suggest you don't do screen-related things unless it's a book in a screen. I want you to find ways to allow yourself to fill up on good things for you. And that's not scrolling. That's not looking at the highlight reel of somebody else and how they're homeschooling or loving their husband better than you. It is about, where can you go that feels good? Is it in the garden? Is it into meditation? Is it into cooking? Is it into a book? Is it into writing? Whatever it is, allow yourself 20 minutes twice a day for just you, and anchor it so that you know and can predict that it's coming. That means that you can hold yourself for longer periods of time when lots of pressure is on you, because it probably is, and you know that that relief is coming. 3, do something that's fun for the family a couple of times a week. Make a picnic for your backyard. Design and have a restaurant in your house and spend the day or half a day, whatever time you have, making an effort to make something beautiful. Enjoy it. Enjoy the creation of beauty as a team and the experience of beauty as a family or as a couple. Beauty gives you energy. Physiology gives you energy. Looking after yourself, remembering that you come from a lineage of brave, strong people, gives you energy. Making time twice a day for a small period of time for you to do something that fills your buckets, they give you energy. These are the ways that we take care of ourselves. These are the ways that we also therefore take care of our family. And so what we'll do now is talk about what happens if you don't look after your physiology, if you don't make time a couple of times a day just for you, if you're unable to be able to lead with that sense of connection and making good memories even amidst the uncertain times that we're in. Because if we don't start to interrupt those things, what we do is we're not in a creation space. We're in a receptive to what the world is telling us space, and there's a lot of contraction in the world. There's a lot of going in. We started with this. If you don't start to bring yourself out using those ideas I just gave you, what will happen is you'll get in and in and in, and when you're living your life from here, what happens is that you have a very different way of thinking. You have a predisposition to a negative outlook. With a negative outlook comes a lack of energy, comes a sense of fear, Anxiety lives here, depression lives here, disconnection from the most important people around you live here. Those internal thoughts that make you feel like you're not good enough, you won't survive this, what if this bad thing happens? They start to become predominant in your everyday experience, which then goes out into your kind of nervous system, which your kids tune into and can read that they are not safe. So their behavior starts to act out, and then you start to say, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. And on comes extra stress. We already have pain from the restrictions that are necessarily in place to stop the spread of this disease. Let's not add suffering to that. Let's add expansion to that. Because when we expand, we are allowing ourselves to draw energy in and to live from a place of thoughtful creation. That's the kind of life experience I want you to have. That's what I want for you when it comes to creating this legacy of walking through this pandemic. And you'll see this has brought us full circle, because is there anything more important than creation of the legacy you want to leave and building on what your ancestors have handed down to you? Mindfully creating so that you can lead is literally life-changing. We don't know what is in store for us, pandemic or otherwise. What we do know is how we show up influences and sets a cultural tone for ourselves, our marriage, our children. And so we need to lead. We need to look into ways that allow us to expand and create. We need to be able to access joy and good feelings. We need to be able to expand our physiology. We need time, 20 minutes twice a day, to fill ourselves back up, to know that there is rest in sight. We need all of those things so that we can lead and lead well. And so if you are thinking, well, that's great, how do I execute that? Then you probably will need to watch my masterclass, because that will give you some good tips. And you might also like to think about, how do I articulate what I need in a conversation at a family roundtable or in a conversation with my husband? And you can create this together. The trick is about connection and saying, here we are, what do we want this to look like? Now, of course, if you want to claim this, if you want to be this woman and you're saying, I can see that I have this in me, but I don't know how to unlock it consistently, watch my masterclass, book a call. They're the two ways that I can help you the most. Yes? If you are thinking, okay, I have access to this, how do I do it? Watch this over and over again, write notes, make yourself a plan, watch the masterclass, and book a call. Yes? The level of dedication that you give to yourself to grow this capability is what it will take to be able to live in this capability. The ability for you to find your center and lead from there takes mindful, daily practice. You can do that. You can have that. But you have to decide to have that. And so, my friends, the decision is yours. Nobody is going to do it for you. This is your time. I'm here beside you, and we can do it. We can do hard things, but not only that, we can create a legacy at the same time as doing them. It's time for me to go. I'll see you here soon for another Facebook Live. I wish you clean hands and good health, and so much connected love and leadership. The world needs you, your family needs you, your marriage needs you, but most of all, you need you to live in this life of creation and expansion, not contraction, not this. I'll see you soon. Bye, darlings. Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you're feeling fired up and you're ready to grow and you want to know more about how to do that, here is what I want you to do now. I want you to watch my marriage masterclass. This masterclass will show you how my clients have turned their struggling marriages into thriving marriages, even without their husband's buy-in. How my clients have gone from cycles of poor communication, disconnect and loneliness to being teammates and soulmates with their husbands again, even after they've already tried everything. And the proven system my clients use to start transforming their marriages in minutes, not years, because life is too precious to waste one more minute in an unhappy and unfulfilling marriage. So if this is what you're looking for, I want you to click the link below